I think these movements, as well as the do-it-yourself investing, are all part of a greater independence in this country, a sense of wanting freedom. Longtime viewers of the show know that big money has been made on these trends, but the question is, what happens next, and how does it change this country? Joining me now to discuss, Policy Director at Independent Women's Forum, Hadley Heath Manning. Hadley, you kind of think of the 60s, and everybody had a car, everybody had the house at the white picket fence, and 4 years ago, President Trump was controversial for saying, let's get back to that. But it feels like we're getting back to that anyway.
It's very typical for politicians who are more conservative to use rhetoric that harkens to what was great about the past, because conservatives want to conserve what is great about history and tradition, whereas people who are progressive tend to focus on what is wrong with the present moment, what has been wrong about the past, and where we can make progress, because, of course, that's what progressivism is all about. But if you have a serious conversation with people on both sides of the aisle, I think Americans of all political stripes can recognize that there are some good things about our history and our traditions that are worth keeping, while there are also areas where we can make improvement. We are not perfect, but we're also not hopeless. So if we're going to make room for a path forward to restore greatness or achieve some new level of greatness, it's got to be with a focus on what makes America exceptional and how we can achieve real greatness for all Americans. And I think people across the political spectrum want that.
Here's the thing, though. We hear about the cancel culture, which includes all of the past, right? Whether it's George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or Grant, or Ulysses, no matter who it is, all of it, a lot of folks want that in the dustbin of history, never to be revealed. But society has moved back there. I know some of this is being driven by the pandemic, but it feels like even before then we were seeing greater household formation, people wanting to maybe move out into the cities. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's sort of the foundation of our country.
Yeah, and people had a lot of concern, a lot of worry about my generation when we weren't getting married and we weren't having children as previous generations had done. It turns out that some of that worry might have been misplaced because we're doing those things, we're just doing them later in life. And because of that, we are having fewer children. The fertility rate certainly is lower for my generation than previous generations of Americans. But I don't think that the inherent desires of the human heart really ever change. People do want to have relationships, and people do want to have that security that comes with marriage, or they want to have their progeny, they want to have a legacy. So I think that those things will always be a part of life, but certainly the pandemic has rocked our worlds. It is causing some people to delay family planning or having a new baby, but it's also causing people to think about, where do I live? Am I happy living where I live? I have the telecommuting option now that maybe people didn't have before. So we're seeing people moving out of cities, but making big changes in response to the pandemic, certainly.
Remember, one of the big driving forces in our country was the notion of not owning anything, renting it all, and now that's turning. And I like the idea of owning stuff. I do believe people should have ownership of a lot of things. Hadley, I always enjoy these conversations. Thank you very much. See you again real soon.
Thank you, Charles.